Hello everybody, it's Ty with another video for you, and what you're looking at here is my Big Kong game board here. This is an Tato Space Invaders Part II cocktail table. You see right here, this is actually the Japanese version because you see it right there on the control panel in Japanese. I got this a while back. I had some videos about it. I got this thing, it wasn't working. I had to drill the lock out. And I was able to clean the board up, get it working. It looked like it had been in a fire. The whole thing is full of soot. I mean, everything has got a black coating to the whole thing. Well, anyways, this weekend, what I was going to do is I was actually making a JAMMA adapter for this. If you look at the connectors here, there's actually 3 connectors this board connects to. This is the main one. This is connector G, and that's from Space Invaders. That's some of the original wiring. And then there's T up here. That's the secondary connector, and that's original as well. And then you got this side connector here, if you can see in here. There we go. And that's for the additional directions, like up, down, and for some reason the jump button is on this connector as well. It doesn't use the original fire button from Space Invaders. So what I want to do is actually make a JAMMA adapter for this board, this cabinet, so I can run some other JAMMA games in it. I want to keep the Big Kong as well, but I wanted to, be able to put other stuff in it. So here's the JAMMA adapter I made. Right now I've got a 60-in-1 board in here, and this has 60 classic arcade games in it. I wouldn't say it's the best thing out there. It's inexpensive. I got this for $60 with shipping off of Paradise Arcade Shop, and that's a great deal. And I think the Memorial Day weekend they're actually having a sale as well. But my son really loves the 60-in-1, my 3-year-old, and so I decided to get this and put it in so he can play it. But I've got here's the 2 connectors. I just use a regular JAMMA fingerboards, and I cut them down to fit the size, and I had to do some extra modifications to it as well. So that's the main, that's G connector, and this is that side connector right there. You can see both sides. So this works fine. The player 2 I'm having some issues with. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but you can see back here is the jump button switch, and you've got your ground here, and you've got your this red wire here was actually the for the jump button, and it goes right to this pin right here. And when I connect to it, if I connect to ground on the board and that pin with my continuity tester, and I press the button, it does absolutely nothing. I get no reading. But if I do that on this side with the connectors, I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah, I get tone. So these old cocktail tables have strange grounds going on. I don't know exactly what. Additionally, when I'm running Big Kong, I found there was a ground wire. Let me get the light over here. You see, I've got a alligator clip there on that one, on the negative terminal on the speaker there. Well, that negative speaker had a wire connected to it, which connected to the frame up there, which really isn't ground. It's some weird hack somebody did, because I mean, it does connect over here to the monitor frame, which come over here, but that's not really. It's all incidental ground. It's not really ground, and I've never seen an arcade cabinet where the negative pin on the speaker was connected to the frame ground, and so I thought that was strange. And but if I disconnected it, well, before it was a bad ground. So whenever the music played, the monitor would be distorted. So I disconnected that, and I had no sound on Big Kong, which I thought was bizarre. And then so what I did is I actually connected that alligator clip to a better ground right here. This is right on the power supply, and I get good sound from Big Kong and no distortion on the monitor. Now when I hook up the JAMMA board and plug it in, I get reduced sound volume when it's connected to ground. When I disconnected it, it's louder. And I don't think it should be connected for the JAMMA board, so I'm using the alligator clip so I can switch back and forth. But I'm going to demonstrate for you. I'm going to actually, first I'm going to turn on Big Kong. Turn this light off. We don't need that much light. Okay, so here's the game. Now, before, when you get that tone when you put a quarter in, you get like waves going through. I can actually simulate that by connecting it over here to the place where it was connected. I guess not. I guess it was just a bad connection. Alright, but let's do that again. So we've got the quarters in there. Now if I disconnect, you notice the sound stops playing. So I don't know why that is. That's just bizarre. So if anybody knows why that would be happening, I'd appreciate some help on that. Okay, so now on to the JAMMA adapter. Okay. So this is going to be interesting to do with one hand. I'm going to set this down for a second, guys. Alright, that one's connected. This one's connected. Okay, so there's just everything connected. Looks like a horrible mess, but it works. So we're going to turn this on. Another thing about these 16:1 boards, they're great because you got 60 games on it, but you have to wait forever for these things to come up. Now, since we're waiting for this, this is just an added-on wiring that the original guy did back in 1981. Probably going to pull all this out and replace it with better wiring. Just this additional harness that's made, because the wires just kind of just go all over the place. It's just like a mess of wires. So that's going to get changed. I already did make some modifications to it. The original joystick was a Wicco in here. It was a it's not even the original joystick, it was the modified joystick. It's one of those rubber grommet ones. It's real stiff to use, and I picked up this micro switch one off of Paradise Arcade, and it's nice because it's got a little plate in the back. You can switch it between 4-way, 2-way, and 8-way joystick. So right now it's set for 4-way because most of these games use 4-way. And I also, just for fun, because this cabinet's in such bad shape, I put in a LED lighted jump button on here, and that was super cheap off Paradise Arcade. It's just kind of fun to do. You just connect it to your 12-volt lines, power line. But this button was completely wrecked, and this joystick's way better than the one that was in there. I know a lot of guys like Wicco sticks, but it was just so stiff. And compared to like a Nintendo game, you know, with their the mechanics of the joysticks in those, it was just feeling like you were just playing with concrete. So anyway, so here's the 16:1 board. Right now it's running Ms. Pac-Man. I got some little bit of fold over there on the top. But anyway, so we'll start this up. So now you have your selection of games you can make. Do a little shy do pack Donkey Kong. Now you hear the audio? I'm just going to disconnect the ground. Huh. Here it gets... You see it gets louder and quiet? Quiet when it's connected and louder when it's disconnected. The audio doesn't match up exactly. And this is it's still pretty good. I mean, it sounds better than my Donkey Kong did when before I had my audio amp issues. I mean, you're paying $60 for a board here. Let's see if I can turn this light off, maybe get a better... It's always overwashed in this, but it looks really good. Okay, so... Just want to get back to the menu. That's another thing that's kind of annoying about this, is that you have to die before you can go back to the main menu, at least as far as I know. And that's the thing about 60-in-1 boards, is that you get these things that got 60 games on them, and you just constantly can't make up your mind as to what game you want to play. But when you have a real cabinet sitting there, it's a lot easier to choose what you want to play. So anyways, let me close this thing up. Okay, so that's my only thoughts about the 60-in-1, is the fact that they take, you kind of like lose interest in them. I'm not sure, you know, why that is, at least for me. And again, oh, I rearranged the game room down here. I've got, I put all the Galaxian series games against the one wall here. So I got Galaxian, Galaga, Gal Plus, and then this is going to be the Galaga 88 cabinet. I haven't finished this one yet. And then over here, I've moved the Nintendo cabinets over here. And this is kind of temporary until I get everything straightened out, but I've got the Play Choice and the Donkey Kong Jr. here, and the Donkey Kong Cabaret there. And I'm going to put another full-size Donkey Kong, that Donkey Kong 94 I'm building here, so I'll have them. And I don't know where I'm going to put the Cabaret, but that fits anywhere, so that should work out well. And then I've moved a whole bunch of other games down this way. Put the Marvel vs. Capcom over here, and the Terminator 2, the Bad Dudes, and the Capcom vs. SNK was the other one over here. Here's the Marvel vs. Capcom and the Radical Bikers, and I haven't figured out where I'm putting the Space Invaders yet. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll have another video for you coming up soon.